Chicago. R. Kelly and Aaliyah made beautiful music together, producing the platinum Age Ain't Nothing But a Number in 1994. Aaliyah was 15 years old. Later, when rumors surfaced that the 27-year-old Kelly had secretly married Aaliyah, her working-class parents stepped in. In a 1995 article in Vibe magazine, a marriage license bearing the names of R. Kelly and Aaliyah was published. No subsequent records or documents were found, but sources close to Aaliyah say that her parents, Michael and Diane, had the marriage annulled as Aaliyah was underage at the time of the marriage. In an exclusive interview with publisher Jamie Foster Brown, Aaliyah spoke about her relationship with R. Kelly. Sister to Sister magazine, how did the marriage license turn up? Was it real or was it a joke? Aaliyah, oh no, we were never married. Aaliyah's father, it was a friendship. It was a producer-friendship situation. Aaliyah, producer-artist strictly. Aaliyah withstood the firestorm of the R. Kelly fiasco to release her second album in the summer of 1996. One in a Million may be the signature work by Aaliyah, an album recorded while she began her senior year at Detroit School for the Performing Arts. The CD marked Aaliyah's transition from a pop and R&B performer to a hip-hop artist and balladeer. It also was her most successful release to date, selling close to 2 million copies. A lot of things were new for this rising star on her sophomore album. Aaliyah had switched labels and was now with Atlantic Records, which later merged with Virgin. New producers were also on board, Timberland and Jermaine Dupri, heavyweights in the industry, who were able to blend the natural, sultry voice of Aaliyah with a new style hip-hop beat, creating an unmatched musical symmetry. After 2 platinum albums, a failed marriage, a label change, and more success and acclaim than any entertainer twice her age, Aaliyah was ready to embark on the next phase of her illustrious career. Hollywood was calling, and Aaliyah was standing by the phone. Her first role was to star opposite martial arts master Jet Li in the action film Romeo Must Die. The filmmakers were careful to avoid any love scenes between Lee and Aaliyah, fearing a backlash and outcry because of the interracial relationship. It was feared that many of Aaliyah's fans would abandon her if she were to portray a sellout on the silver screen. The film was a modest success among filmgoers and critics, but for Aaliyah's fans and for the inner circle of Hollywood, Aaliyah was fast becoming a hot ticket. Romeo Must Die producer Joel Silver had produced the popular film The Matrix, starring Keanu Reeves. Silver, who was impressed with Aaliyah's work on Romeo Must Die, immediately signed her to star in the next 2 installments of The Matrix. Aaliyah recently completed the film Mistress of the Damned. It was her first starring role. As Aaliyah's acting career picked up steam, she made headway with 2 platinum soundtrack releases. It was Aaliyah's contribution to the 2001 Eddie Murphy film Dr. Dolittle that pushed the sequel soundtrack over 1 million units sold. Songs from the animated feature Anastasia and her own film Romeo Must Die created similar success. Riding the wave of her successful soundtracks at the turn of the millennium, Aaliyah was excited and poised to release her 3rd solo album. Simply titled Aaliyah, it was her most anticipated release to date. In a twist of fate, the success that Aaliyah was enjoying actually held up the release of this disc, as Virgin Records, which was now affiliated with Blackground Enterprises, Aaliyah's uncle and former manager's label, yet it was Atlantic Records, which had released One in a Million, and they were reluctant to lose an artist who was certainly hot. After settling their dispute, Virgin agreed to release the album, Aaliyah, on July 27, 2001. The first single, entitled Revolution, received heavy rotation on MTV and BET. The buzz was good, and Aaliyah was still hot. Virgin record executives quickly set in motion a plan to release the next single, Rock the Boat. Rolling Stone magazine said of the single, "The album's highlight is Rock the Boat, a masterpiece of unbridled salaciousness. Aaliyah breathlessly purrs sexual commands over an airy groove whose instrumentation swells against and then falls away from her voice. It shows that she has come into her own as a woman." It was hours after Aaliyah wrapped the video for Rock the Boat that she quickly headed toward the airport with 7 other members of her label and staff for what would be the fateful flight. In a day and age when cellular phones and two-way pages are the norm, the news of Aaliyah's death spread quickly. For most of us, the news first came over urban radio. As with most tragic news, at first many thought and hoped that this was simply a rumor. Prince had died a number of times, Luther Vandross and others. But soon after the rumors began, the news was confirmed. A light plane had suddenly crashed in the Bahamas, and Aaliyah and members of her video crew had perished. As can be expected, the outcry, shock, and outpouring of support was enormous. Immediately questions arose. It goes back to why. A former record executive who wishes to remain anonymous gives us his thoughts on the tragedy.
At first I want to say that I've been in the record industry for about 9 years now. I know the ins and outs of the record business, and I know how shady record companies can be when it comes to spending money on the artist. They want the artist to make them a whole shitload of money, but when it's time to spend some money on the artist, they don't. And for the life of me, I can't understand why Aaliyah did not have a Lear jet, a corporate jet, take her to and from the Bahamas, to Miami, Florida.
On August 25th, 2001, following a music video shoot from her self-titled album, Aaliyah, her bodyguard, and members of her record label and production crew boarded a twin-engine Cessna in Nassau of the Bahamas. Though the Bahamas boast of many tropical and modern pleasures, motion picture film and the highly technical and expensive hardware that is needed to make and process these films are not available on the tiny island. Film and the heavy cases that protect the cameras and other equipment necessary for a professional shoot must be flown in from nearby Miami, Florida. Sources in Miami say that Aaliyah had an important appearance scheduled for Saturday evening and that it was essential for her to get back to the U.S. that night. Little is known about why it was so important for the singer to take that particular flight, as these small shuttle flights leave the Bahamas regularly. According to officials with access to flight conversations prior to takeoff of the Cessna 402 plane, the pilot, Luis Antonio Morales Blaines, and members of Aaliyah's entourage bickered over the amount of equipment and luggage on board the tiny